We start off with the latest developments from West Asia. The president of Iran has now presented his new cabinet to the parliament for an expected vote of confidence. Let's take a look at Ibrahim Raisi's new cabinet list. Hardline diplomat Hossein Amirabollahian has been appointed as the foreign minister. He has previously served as Iran's deputy foreign minister for Arab and African affairs. He was the deputy chief of mission at Iran's embassy in Baghdad from 1997 to 2001. He is said to have close ties with the Revolutionary Guards Corps, Lebanon's Hezbollah and other Iranian proxies. This anti-West conservative leader's elevation is significant for the nuclear talks. Abdollahian might present a much harder position by Iran in the nuclear talks, which might undo gains made under the previous Rouhani regime. The former foreign minister Javad Zarif was praised for his unique abilities in diplomacy. He is credited for opening a communication bridge between Iran and the West. Raisi has advocated for the production of highly enriched uranium, and now with a new foreign minister, the Vienna talks also might regress. Iran and 6 other world powers have been in talks since April to revive the 2015 nuclear pact, the same pact which was abandoned 3 years ago by the Trump administration. To block Iran from coming back to the global oil market, Iran's new cabinet, dominated by hardliners, including the new Interior Minister, General Ahmad Vahidi, who is blacklisted by America and wanted by the Interpol. He is accused of bombing of Jewish cultural center in Buenos Aires. In 1994, the list of new appointees will be officially announced in the parliament on Saturday. Meanwhile, Israel's top diplomat Yair Lapid has landed in Morocco. This is Israel's first visit to Morocco since ties normalized last year. And with this, Lapid also becomes the first Israeli official to visit Morocco in the last 18 years. Lapid was welcomed by his Moroccan counterpart, Nasser Bourita. Both the leaders held talks before signing several agreements on cooperation. Lapid is set to visit Casablanca's historic synagogue Beth El and inaugurate Israel's diplomatic mission in Rabat. Morocco was one of the 4 Arab countries to normalize relations with Israel under the U.S. brokered agreement. The UAE, Bahrain and Sudan were also part of the landmark signing of the Abraham Accord. There's been a huge support in Palestinians' quest for statehood, and the normalization has angered the Palestinians. From 1948 to 1964, over 250,000 Jews have left Morocco for Israel. Now, Morocco hosts Arab's largest Jewish community with about 3,000 Jews. They have described their deal as a restoration of mid-level relations. Israel's foreign minister also prioritized ties with these 4 Arab countries. Earlier in mid-July, Lapid stressed on the renewal of full diplomatic relations. He wanted to improve trade, tourism, economic and political ties.
I agreed with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Morocco, Nasser Bourita, on the first official visit of an Israeli foreign minister to Morocco as part of the renewal of full diplomatic relations. The visit will take place after the opening of direct flights to Morocco at the end of this month. This is a historic event. I would like to thank the King of Morocco, His Excellency Mohammed VI, for his leadership in promoting the visit and renewing relations. This will be the starting cooperation between the 2 countries. After my visit to Morocco, Minister Bourita will come to visit Israel to open a representative office.
Earlier, Lapid paid a visit to the UAE to strengthen ties, while UAE inaugurated its new embassy in Tel Aviv last month. At a time when Lapid visited Morocco, a senior official from Bahrain visited Israel for the signing ceremony.
A year ago, there was nothing between our 2 countries. Today, we have came a very long way. And from my personal deep involvement in building this relation with my colleagues in the Israeli MFA, we can confidently say that we have a solid foundation to develop these bilateral ties.
And our correspondent Jody Cohen getting us this ground report. Take a look.
The This week, we're witnessing steps that are likely to strengthen both the PA and Israel. While Israel would like to see more countries join the Abraham Accords, and former President Trump had indicated that several more were willing to sign, the change of guard in the US and Israel had appeared to pause progress. However, according to Regional Cooperation Minister Isawi Fridge, there is direct contact with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states. It's uncertain whether any future announcements will involve the Palestinians, which has been suggested by Riyadh. Meanwhile, visiting Israel this week, a senior Bahraini diplomat hinted that the anniversary of the signing of the accords is a date to watch, suggesting with a smile that on the 15th of September, we could see a demonstration by the Biden administration of their commitment to the accords. This is Jodie Cohen from Herzliya, Israel, for WION World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.